Hi folks, I'd like to show you a way to make high fidelity mockups. High fidelity mockups look just like a website, just like any web app, and they're pixel perfect, so they're not like a wireframe. Wireframe is a quick and dirty sketch. This is a little more abstract, but this might be a high fidelity mockup. I actually can't tell if it's a real app or a high fidelity mockup because it looks so good, but we're going to learn how to create a simple UI like this, starting with a button. So I'm just Googling here, trying to find a button that looks halfway decent, something I think we could replicate fairly easily, but also looks very professional. Here's some ones that look pretty good. Let's see if we can replicate some of these. Just going to copy this image. My favorite tool is called Gravit. It is extremely powerful, very wonderful thing. You can just sign up for free. I think I usually use my Gmail, and this Gravit Designer is free. I think they recently renamed it to Coral Vector, and looks like it wants me to sign in again. Great. All right, and you don't have to buy the paid version. I prefer the free one. I think the free one's great. And I already put this button in my clipboard, so I'm just going to hit Control V to paste it. Oh, maybe I didn't. Copy and paste. And let's see if we can just pick one of these. How about this green hover over? Looks kind of cool. So in UIs, it's mostly rectangles. Most of UIs, most of the digital world, most websites, most web apps are a bunch of rectangles. So let's draw our rectangle here. It looks like a button, and there we go. A cool shortcut with this Coral Vector app or Gravit is I can hold down R and draw some rectangles. So I'm holding R and drawing these. That's a really nifty shortcut. And notice what I did. You can click on these to select them, and then you can change their properties over here. But I'm just going to delete all these ones here and go back to our button that we started over here, and I can reshape it. It's the wrong color, right? We need it to be a green color. That's too bright. Maybe something like this, a little more towards the blue. We're getting closer, but you know what? There's an easier way to do this. We could just stick with that and be okay with it. But there's this little pen dropper thingy that's really handy. I can just click this and match the color exactly on whatever screenshot I have on my canvas here. Really powerful dropper tool. I love that. All right, now we need some text. So I just hit T for text, or you can click this up here. And I'm just going to click and type button. And it's the wrong color. We need it to be white. And that looks a little small. I'm just going to drag the mouse and I can change my size over here. I could change my font. I don't know if I really care to. Maybe semi-bold. And that looks pretty good. Now, it's not quite centered though. These pink lines that you see, those help me vertically. Vertically is like this, horizontally is like this, and they're helping me to center the button in the context of my rectangle here, the text in the context of my rectangle. Or I can just select them both and I can kind of toy around with these buttons up here. These are different alignment buttons, and I can click the two center alignment ones and I can horizontally uh, this one's horizontal, no, sorry, this one's vertical alignment, and this one's horizontal alignment. And that centers it with one click. Okay, this has nice rounded corners. I can get rounded corners using the corner thing over here. Check this out. Ha ha ha, isn't that cool? And just like with a lot of these properties, you just want to play with it for a little bit and familiarize yourself with all these different controls and see what they do. You can just make a dummy button or even copy this and see what they do. I kind of like buttons that have just a little bit of rounded corners, but the one we're trying to replicate has really rounded corners. So we'll do that. Okay, we are really close to done. There's one more thing I want to show you. Oh, this one down here has a border. We could do a border, but we won't mess with that. Instead, I want to show you the drop shadow. Can you see, if you look really carefully, you can see a little bit of shadow below this button, and that makes it look really modern, really nice looking. You can add shadow through the drop shadow thing over here. And you can change the opacity. That makes it lighter, appear lighter or darker. I can change the blur. I can move its position. I can also click in here and wheel down or wheel up. And that's a pretty handy feature. And I can position that shadow right where I want it. Some people like a lot of shadow. I prefer just barely, just enough so you can barely see it. I think that looks really, really good. It's a little bit, let's center it on the x-axis. Yeah, I think that looks great. Just enough so you can barely see it. And that's mockups. Well, that's our first high fidelity mockup. It's really not hard. Really doesn't require a lot of artistic skill. You just usually what I do when I'm learning is I just uh, find a UI. I go and look. I just Google for UIs or maybe a UI for a game or for an app or something that I'm working on, and I'll try and find something that I think I could replicate, something that looks nice. And I say, okay, let's replicate this one piece at a time. And notice it's mostly rectangles. Mostly rectangles. You start with those and you can add some icons, you can add images, whatever, and you can make some really nice looking UIs with minimal artistic skill. Thanks. See you around.